Good morning. I got nothing back at all. Good morning. It's much better. Appreciate all of you coming out. Let me quickly tell you why we're doing this. Chamber staff over the last 6 to 9 months, staff meetings, different things. We talk about all the good things going on in Jackson, and there's a few that you don't really want to talk about sometimes outside the office. We know that happens. It occurred to us about 6 weeks ago that enough people in Jackson don't know enough about all the really, really good things that are going on in this community. And as we started putting together an idea about, well, how do we push that information out to everyone, we knew we couldn't pull together a 3 to 4 hour session and keep everyone's interest. So what we're doing today, and I want to thank our friends at the Co and admit we have stolen ideas from you guys, because if any of you have been out here for a pitch night and you see how rapidly that works and how quick it keeps people's attention on the subject, that's what we're going to do today. We've got, I think, 10 speakers. We've got 2 minutes each, and there is a timer that Alexis has, and she's front row, and if any of you have ever seen Alexis get mad, I know Andrew has, go over your time limit. But we're going to keep it really quick. 2 minutes. I think everyone has one slide, tell you some positive things that are going on in this community. So you're thinking, okay, 2 minutes, wow, that's not a lot of time. What all are they going to tell me? They're going to hit the high points. After that, each speaker has got a table set up, and what we encourage you to do is go spend time with those speakers, learn more about what they're working on. And all of you that are millennials and Gen X folks out there, we know what makes you happy. That's giving back, being a part of something. So that's another reason we're doing this. In our jobs, we hear a lot about, oh, how do I get involved in Jackson? How can I support this? Well, today is the start of your opportunity to do that, whether it's something with the public schools, whether it's going kayaking with Andrew Long tomorrow afternoon after work, I think, or maybe around lunch, you're going to do that. Find a spot to do that. One more thing before I step down I'd like to encourage you to do is every one of you get your phones out, help us out with this. I know all of you have a Facebook page, that's easy. And actually Facebook, is, as we know, that's getting kind of old. So let's, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you've got, let's post something about this event 3 or 4 times and use the hashtag JacksonTN, or Alexis may have developed something else that we've got up here today. One more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you my cell phone number, and if you've got any questions about anything that you've heard today, I want you to text me before we get done today. I'm going to try to answer some of those before we get done. But that's 731-616-8878. So with that, we're going to start, and appropriately, we're going to start with the folks that make it possible for us to, if you want to, speed on the highways. That's the TDOT people. And so Gary Scruggs is going to kick us off. Gary?
Thank you. Morning, I'm Gary Scruggs of TDOT at Project Development here in Jackson. We have a project that's starting right behind us here on I-40. It's going to be starting in about 2 months. It's in the August letting. The project, the rendering you see on the left is Casey Jones. The rendering you see on the right is the interchange at Highland. But anyway, in a nutshell, what we're doing, we're widening almost 3 miles of I-40. It'll be either 3 or 4 lanes in each direction, depending on where you're looking. And then we're rebuilding the interchange at the bypass. We're going to tear down that bridge and rebuild it. All new interchange there. There's 4 loop ramps now. There's a loop ramp at each quadrant. We're just going to have loop ramps in the northwest, southeast quadrant, so it's going to be called a partial cloverleaf. At Highland, we're going to replace that whole interchange in the bridge with a SPUI, single point urban interchange. You drive on 385 in Memphis, they're all over the place there. The whole project's also going to include all new pavements, all new roadway lighting, all new signs. There's 6 traffic signals, and the signals all talk to each other. They'll be coordinated. And then the project also includes 15 retaining walls, some of which will have special finishes on. So that's about it. Any questions? You can come see me at the table. I'll answer anything.
All right, thank you. And to keep us moving along quickly, I'm not going to introduce everyone. I didn't say that in the beginning, so Andrew didn't know that it's his turn to come up here. Andrew Long's going to talk about kayaking. When Andrew is done, who have we got next? That's Mandy White. And just keep coming up here after that. And as Gary said, if you got a question, then go to the table and talk to these folks afterwards. Andrew?
Thank you all for being here. Real quickly, how many of you have floated the Buffalo River before? Great. A lot of people have. How many of you knew that we had two great natural resources here in Jackson that you're able to kayak or canoe regularly? I think I see three hands. We have here in Jackson the Middle Fork River and the South Fork. Middle Fork flowing out in the three-way region, and then the South Fork flowing along the south side of town. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what it is that we're wanting to do in regards to kayaking and where we stand currently. About a year ago, we created a committee to see if it was feasible to create some parking and launch sites in Jackson so that we could market kayaking to the public. We've come up with 2 sites thus far, one on Highway 45 South as you're entering South Jackson, and the other on Harts Bridge Road. One site owned by the City of Jackson, the other owned by the state of Tennessee. So really here in the last 6 months, a lot of our meetings have been trying to work through the logistics of how we work with the city, with the state, and with TDOT. Who will have what responsibilities, what will the ongoing maintenance look like, what can our funding sources be, as well as how are we going to market and brand this kayaking club. I think Jeffrey Ford is going to talk a little bit later about the Middle Fork Greenway project, but we've got 2 great Greenway projects that are scheduled to be completed in our city. One going from downtown to South Jackson to the Bemis Mill, actually, and the other in 3-way. So with these two kayaking routes, it'll tie perfectly into these Greenway projects that we have scheduled. So it's been a slow process, but we're slowly clawing our way through it, and we're going to keep grinding, and hopefully we'll be able to market this to the public in the near future. So thank you guys for your time.
Well, I'm going to try to not let that happen. I'm Mandy White with the Jackson Chamber, and you might expect me to get up here and talk about infrastructure and utilities and land and those things that are typically important to economic development, and they are. But today I just want to talk a little bit about quality of life. If you look here, and I guess I'll stand over here so you can see, Area Development Magazine does a study each year where they talk to site selectors and to companies that make decisions about where to locate. You'll look in 2014, all those things that are typical show up on the top 10 list. But look in 2016 what happened. Quality of life moved from not even being in the top 10 to being number 3. So what you're going to see on our end is a big focus on quality of life, on livability, creating a place where companies can retain talent, can recruit talent. So I encourage you to do like we are. Support these initiatives you're going to hear about today. Start one of your own, and the ones that are happening, help support them, go to them, help them improve and stay and have longevity here. The more that we can do to help Jackson be a great place to live, the better we can do at recruiting companies to here. Thanks.
Good morning, I'm Vicki Bunch with the Jackson Chamber. I'm the manager of workforce development, and today I would like to talk to you about a program we started this summer called Intern Jackson. Intern Jackson is a summer activities program for our industry interns. It grew out of an express need from our plant managers in that they could find great talent to come here and work during the summer in their industries, but when it came time to offer them a permanent position, sometimes the interns were reluctant to call Jackson home. And so we wanted to change their perception. We did this with a twofold approach. Number one, we wanted to offer them opportunities to meet other like individuals within the community, and then we wanted to highlight Jackson in a way that they might not experience on their own. So we had 5 industry sponsors that participated and 19 interns, which was a great response. What we did for them, we created opportunities or meetups that gave them social networking opportunities, team building opportunities, and just gave them something fun to do. It's a little too soon to gauge yet if this program has been successful, but I do have a couple of stories that I can share. One is there's a summer intern at Kirkland's. He approached us and he wants to go above and beyond what we have to offer in the program, in that he wants to get even more connected. He wants to offer STEM tutoring or become involved in our schools in some way. We also have had 2 interns that have approached us and given us their resumes because they do want to look for job opportunities here in Jackson. So it's a program we're excited about, and we feel like it will have a positive impact on retaining young talent to Jackson.
I don't think so. Hi, I'm Lori Nuttery with Visit Jackson, or Jackson Convention and Visitors. See, I can never say that. Jackson Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's a mouthful. First of all, thanks to the Chamber for allowing us to be a part of this. But behind me, you'll see a couple pictures, and my question to you is, what does Griff Garrison of CBS's Hunted share with a giraffe at the West Tennessee Safari Park, and share with W.S. Holland, Stan Perkins, and Isaac Tigert? Yeah, that's how we're marketing Jackson, folks. It's not the same Jackson than what was done 10 years ago. You know, you had that beautiful rack car that was in a rest area. How many of you have stopped at rest areas lately? Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. It's not the rack card, it's not the ad in the state's visitor's guide, or it's not a 1-800 number that you call for information. The world has changed so drastically in the last 10 years, and that's our challenge, is to keep up with it. So those 3 pictures behind me, you'll see Griff Garrison. The great thing about that project is that was a project that was dreamed up by Jason Compton and the team out of the Jackson Generals. Most of you know the Hunted story, where locals Lee Wilson participated and eventually won that with Hilmar Skagfield. They brought in Griff. We were able to take and work with Kevin Adelsberger of Adelsberger Marketing and do a video of this. So that would have happened kind of off of the radar historically, but we were able to get a video out there. It's had over 40,000 hits on it. Griff has also picked up, and he also said that Jackson is a nice place to live. That's our advertising nowadays. You look at the West Tennessee Safari Park, and that's a part of our Jackson Tea and Weekend campaign. Paige here that works in our office is a part of that. She's our hostess with the mostest on there. We're actually getting ready to launch one today that you guys need to go out and look for, especially on Facebook, but you can also find that on our website. That campaign alone in 10 videos, those videos are averaging anywhere between 20 to 40,000 hits for each of those listed. That's not paid advertising. That is an organic release, and then it's paid on top of that. So we see that happening. The last one, and I'll talk as fast as this Yankee can talk, and that is what happened at the Southern Legends of Music Museum down at the Carnegie in downtown Jackson. Many of you know that Isaac Tigert, founder of Hard Rock, is a Jackson native, born here. And what we were able to do, not me, but other people much smarter than I, much better well-connected, were able to get him to say, yes, Jackson was the first Hard Rock in the United States. They were also able to negotiate a contract with Hard Rock, so we have Jackson Hard Rock t-shirts for sale here in Jackson, Tennessee. It's the authentic brand. You can't get them anywhere else in the world, but you can get them here. Folks, there's lots of things happening. I ask you to jump on board with us, and I'm the only table with swag back there, so stop by.
Hi, I'm Jeff Ford with the Nature Conservancy, filling in for David Salyers, and I want to talk to you guys today about the restoration and recreational project we're getting ready to undertake at the Middle Fork Forked-Deer River. So we've acquired about 850 acres of the Middle Fork Forked-Deer floodplain just south of Three-Way, and so if you're driving north on the bypass and look to the west, it's basically all of those lands. Right now, we're in an engineering phase where we are building out the restoration and recreational plans. This project is going to help greatly reduce flood risk to a lot of downstream landowners. It's going to recreate a lot of lost bottomland forest habitats along that river system, and it's going to help improve water quality. From the recreational component, we plan to build out a premier recreation facility that's going to be multi-use. So we're going to have several miles of bicycle and hiking trails. Plan to install a fishing pond for the local community to come out and fish there, and probably also provide some additional river access in addition to wildlife viewing opportunities and things of that nature. So I guess I'll just end it early and you guys can come talk to me in the back. Thank you all.
Since he ended early, does that mean he cedes my time to me? Sure. Jared Markle, I'm on week 2 as Chief Academic Officer for the school system. I went to school here, graduated from here, so this is very personal work for me, so I'm excited to be back in my home district. I want to talk to you briefly about this vision we're setting in motion, and I say vision in motion because a stagnant vision is actually an illusion and not something that you're working to achieve. We always want to be able to speak to concrete things that the district is doing to achieve one of these buckets that you see represented on the screen. So very quickly, our end goal is career readiness for students. And to accomplish that, we have 4 major things: school climate and culture. Kids need to feel like they can come to school, be safe, and learn. And so we're doing things to try to move closer to that. Also, teachers need to feel like they are coming to a place where they can grow as professionals. So we're establishing leadership teams where teachers can come together and help the district plan around major initiatives, not always be mandated to or told what's going to happen. Program alignment. We want to be able to connect the dot from every single thing we do to career readiness for kids, and we want to be held accountable for that. Is everything we're doing helping kids move toward that? Early foundations. We know if we don't start well, we don't finish well. We've put a new position in place at the district office solely to work on our K-2, specifically literacy programs. If kids can't read by the time they get to 3rd grade, there needs to be a hard stop, and we need to focus on that until we get it in place. And finally, workforce development, which is a very relevant topic. We're pushing ACT retake initiative for our kids in high school to make sure that they take that opportunity. That's the only test we give that is money in students' pockets, and it's also our best measure of the skills they bring into the workforce, which is very important to everyone in this room. And then literacy expectations for all. Everything we do has to be soaked in literacy. A lot of new stuff going on. People like better, but they don't always like different, so we got to make sure we communicate about the things we're doing. But I'm excited to be here and look forward to talking to more of you in the back of the room. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Matt with Matt Altabell with Jackson Downtown Development Corporation. She told me I had 2 minutes. There are probably 24 really, really exciting initiatives going on downtown, but I was going to pad this with an unnecessary preface and then talk about one of them. So the Blacksmith is a restaurant coming to downtown. It's going to be at the site of the former Fleet Street Charlie Bulldogs building, the building that is said to be cursed. That is a wives' tale. I don't believe in curses. I'm very excited about this particular project. These folks have they've purchased the building and they've made a very concrete investment in downtown. They're approaching $100,000 of investment on top of the building, putting a new roof on, kitchen equipment, all these kind of things. But real quickly, it's gourmet burgers, craft salads, this sort of thing. Like, it's going to be a nice upscale-ish but still casual kind of restaurant. Looking to open late August, September 1st. So please come check that out. I'm thrilled about that. I do want to also real quickly, while I still have 50 seconds left, talk about public art. Public art is something that's very close to my heart, just anyway, but also Jackson. I think art is a key to reconciliation in Jackson, and downtown we certainly see ourselves as the common ground of Jackson. And so the dialogue that comes from public art it is inspiring a number of initiatives as well. So I don't have anything to show on that today, but please be on the lookout for that, and join us downtown. Thank you.
I'm Stan Pylan. I'm the Director of Planning for the City of Jackson, and to ask me to be within a 2-minute time frame to talk about the entire city is impossible. So I'll just say, great planners make great plans, and great plans make great cities. Thank you. No. On the screen, you'll see the roundabout. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about the roundabout because I can talk about that pretty quickly. And I don't mind people having negative opinions about it or positive opinions about it. People are entitled to their opinions, but what I want them to do is form opinions based on good information. So if you talk to people about the roundabout, it's not a fluff piece. We didn't do it just to say we did a roundabout. We were going to have to make intersection improvements anyway, and a traditional single-lines intersection would have cost about the same, but it wouldn't accomplish one of the goals that we wanted to see happen out of the roundabout, and that was to slow people down a little bit. Right now, if you're coming down Highland and you top the hill and you see all green lights, you're going about 65 miles an hour by the time you run through Dedrick Street. So it makes people a little nervous when they're crossing over to the lift, so we wanted to correct that. We also wanted to create a gateway, and we've done that with the roundabout. And we also wanted to make something that would work, function well, and a roundabout is a free flow. You never have to stop at a light, so that will help during peak times. As you see on the screen, for the people that are going north and southbound on Highland, which is the major movement, it's just really a bump about. It's not really the traditional roundabout you think of with all these streets coming in and you're trying to navigate through the circle. You'll just go around the outside. If you're going northbound, you'll go around the outside. If you're going southbound, if you're on Dedrick, you're the only one that'll make sort of a circle movement through the intersection. But for the rest of you, it should function very well. But again, just to keep everything flowing well, we'll probably put something in the middle just to keep people from trying to jump over it. So that's all I've got for you. I'll be in the back if you have other questions about this or Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick Hewitt. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting us and the Co. I think this is a fantastic idea, and I'm happy to be here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Click Go. We're a rideshare company here in Jackson. How many people in here have ever heard of or used Uber or Lyft? So good amount in the room. It became a personal vendetta of mine a few years ago to try to bring Uber or Lyft to Jackson. I think our transportation, private, reliable transportation in Jackson that we did not have for so long is inexcusable. And so I tried my best to get one of the big national global companies to come, and they had no interest. So I met with the chamber, came up to the Co. I was lucky enough to find 3 like-minded partners that had the same interest, and we formed Click Go, and we went out and we got our own app developed. And so this service is available in Jackson right now. We have over 75 approved drivers. They're insured. They have their own car insurance. We insure them. They go through a series of interviews. They're background checked. Their car's inspected, and they're ready to take you anywhere you want to go anytime. As far as how to use the service, it's very easy. I've got some of these flyers back there. All you do is you download the app, you create an account, you request a ride, and a driver will be there within minutes to take you anywhere you want to go. We've recently adapted to some of the requests from the city of Jackson, from the citizens of Jackson, and we've recently installed scheduling. So if you want to schedule something ahead of time, we had a lot of people say, well, I'm going to the airport. I don't really trust getting a driver on demand at 5 in the morning. I'd like to schedule this a week ahead of time. So that service is available now. We also have delivery. That's a service that's available inside the app. So we're here, download the app, and we've got 75 drivers ready to take you anywhere you want to go. Thanks.
My name is Ben Ferguson. I'm one of the founders here at the Co. We're glad to have you here today. And I got 3 things I want to cover real quickly. One is, how many of you have been on a tour here at the Co? All right, so quite a few. Those that didn't raise their hands, Dan in the back here with his hand up, if you'll find him afterwards, please take a tour of the Co and find out what we're all about. But this is a co-working makerspace, and if you've been here before, you kind of get to see it. But there's a lot of things here, and there's certainly something for everyone. So I encourage you to do that. I've got 2 events I want to make you aware of. One is 731 Day. That's coming up on 731. And so we want you to come downtown to the AMP area. There will be a lot of events. There'll be a water balloon fight. So if you got kids and you want to let them go loose out there, just bring them down. We'll have a storytelling night, which is somewhat similar to this, but you'll have folks talking about their passions and what they're interested in this community. You'll also have a few other things that are down there. The Co-Mobile will be out as well. There'll be a bar crawl for those that are interested in that, and then you can take Click Go and ride it home, and it'll be a perfect night. So we encourage you to come downtown and spend your money for Matt, make him look good. But we encourage you to come out 7-3-1 day down at the AMP. The second event that I want to make you aware of is called Cotoberfest. And we have that here October 20th and 21st. And there will be a lot of events and a lot of things that showcase what the members and the people of the Co kind of work towards. And so you'll have all kinds of things going on for both children and adults. I encourage you to come out. You'll get to see a lot of different projects that the makers work on, the artisans that they'll be showcasing their things as well. We'll have the Best in the West pitch competition, where we'll take the best ideas and businesses coming out of West Tennessee, and we'll get them up here, let them pitch, and award them some great prizes. So encourage you to come out for those things. And again, if you haven't toured the Co, please do that before you leave. Thanks a lot.
Don't start that yet. I think I saw Tay from Air Choice One. Did you walk in? Here's what I'd like to offer you. We actually should have had you up here today. So when I get done, if you would like a couple of minutes, because I know you guys are doing some exciting things, flying to St. Louis and maybe in the future looking at something different. So if you'd like some time, or I can just say some things too. How many of you have ridden a bike in the last week? So you're cyclists. You actually ride. How many of you in the last month or year? All right. So you know, once you ride a bike, you always know how. It's just like getting back on. You can do it. Here's your opportunity. Bike sharing. I know most of you in this room travel. Go to Nashville, Chattanooga, Asheville, Knoxville, wherever. There's bikes somewhere. You can rent those bikes. You can ride them around town. Lori, I guess about 6 months ago, Lori got a phone call from this company, Zaxter, inquiring that Jackson, in their minds, would be a great location for bike share. I will tell you, my first reaction was, maybe in a couple of years. We've got some developments that we're working on that will probably be a better fit. The more we talked to Zaxter, we found out we were a fit now. So this fall, Zaxter will announce 4 locations in Jackson for bike share. Those locations are, there's a bike stand with 5 bikes there. You can ride that bike for free for 30 to 60 minutes. After that, you're charged, I think, anywhere from $3 to $6, or you can buy an annual membership fee to do that. So bike sharing is coming to Jackson, 4 locations. Only thing I can announce today is that Toyota will be one of the sponsors. The city of Jackson actually is sponsoring 2 of the other locations. We've got another company that we'll announce real soon. Toyota was actually a real driving force with this. They are sponsoring the same company, Zaxter, in Evansville with several different locations. So bike sharing is coming to Jackson this fall. You'll see another announcement for everything with all the particulars in a few more weeks. Air Choice One, Tay. You want me to talk, or do you want to?
You can talk.
All right. So you guys help me if I don't get some of these right. And your chairman of the airport board, Ryan, is back here in the back. So Air Choice One flies to St. Louis every day. I think twice on Sundays, three times back and forth, twice back and forth every day.
Monday through Friday, 3 round trips, Saturday 1 round trip, and Sunday 2 round trips.
See, you do this much, much better. Here's why I actually wanted to point Tay out. We have got to continue to support this service, and I say continue to because we already are. Many of you in this room have flown Air Choice One to St. Louis. The more we do that, the more Tay's ownership group is going to be inclined to add additional flights out of Jackson. Those flights could include possibly Atlanta, possibly Chicago, possibly the Gulf Coast. Wouldn't it be nice to know that you could leave on a Thursday or Friday, fly to Destin or Panama City or somewhere? We're not announcing that, but I'm just telling you, Shane Storrs is the owner of Air Choice One. Those are things that he's thinking about in his mind, but it's incumbent upon us to continue to support what they're doing with Air Choice One. So that, I guess I've got a whole another minute. Well, I'm going to take this last minute just to thank our team for this. I've been gone most of the last month, and when I walked in, Alexis looked at me and she said, "Are you nervous about this?" And I said, "No, why?" "Well, you haven't bothered us about it." Naturally, as you can see, it came off very good. I know everyone on our team worked together to make this a success. This may be something we do more than just once a year because there's a lot of activities going on in this community that we want to continue to support and make public and let people know what's going on. and encourage you. I gave you my cell phone number earlier. I don't think I had any text for questions. I'm going to look real quick and see if there's anything else. Nothing except from Andy Culberth, who moved to Nashville about a year ago, some of you know, and he's just telling me how damn expensive Nashville is. So that's relevant and quality of life, I guess. All right, so we're through with the formal presentation piece of this, and please walk around to these tables and talk to these folks, especially things like kayaking. We need more people involved to make these things happen, and they are going to happen. We just need to up the success level and have more people involved in all these activities. And I think Lori mentioned it, or no, Mandy did. One of the things you see when you work for a chamber is you hear a lot of people with different ideas. And every single idea that people come up with, it has merit. If you've got an idea, something to work on, don't just throw that out and ask the city, the county, or the chamber to do it. Take hold of it. Andrew's an example with kayaking, and push that through. Because if you look at any of the big projects, the public-private projects that have happened in this community, and Stan's shaking his head, it's because an individual or a group made that happen. So think about something you want to see happen in Jackson and put together a team and make that happen. So again, visit all the tables. Appreciate all of you being here today. And I think we're going to turn the music back up, end the lights, and that's it. Thank y'all.